Yay! I'm live on YouTube! Yay! I'm really excited to be here with you. I'm really excited that I'm actually live on YouTube. I'm thinking now that maybe the library Wi-Fi is the problem. So that is really exciting to know that I can still go live on YouTube. Yeah! All right. I'm going to share the link here to Facebook. For those of you who have been in my previous live videos, you have already heard their music before. I'm not entirely, I don't remember their band name, sorry. Hey Chris, how's it going? And hey Naz, thank you. I am here at Dancing Vineyards enjoying a glass of Muscat, I don't know, this vegan semi-sparkling wine and enjoying some live music. So thank you for joining me. I've had a really great day. Dancing Vineyards is in Medford, and this is a really beautiful vineyard, somewhere that I could see like having parties and wedding reception and a lot of fun. So thank you, Chris.
Real pretty on the picture. Sweet as a cherry pie.
Looks like we're having a party over here. We got some presents and stuff on the table, so. I think in my last video I actually mentioned that I was trolling this vineyard on Instagram, basically pestering them to get vegan options. They posted something about having like a yoga class or something and then saying, come enjoy yoga and get a bite to eat. And I'm like, eating animal corpses works against ascension, and you know, if you want to try to work to open your higher centers, you need to get away from that. And they finally got some vegan cheese for their pizzas, which is obviously a great step in the right direction. In the future, all of the restaurants will be vegan during the golden age. Woo! Thank you, Thomas, and 1111 code. I appreciate that. Nice trolling, exactly. And if you're trolling for the animals, you know, it's worth it. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me because I defended the animals. I don't like the part of you that defends abusing the animals and does that, so. I made reservations yesterday for this place, and they originally tried to seat me over there. I don't really want to turn the camera because other people don't really like it, but over there on the patio area, they tried to sit me, but I said, it's my birthday, can I sit by the music? And at last, here we are. Hey Deborah, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Like I was saying earlier, I am at Dancing Vineyards, one of, well, actually my favorite winery here, vineyard, whatever you want to call it, in Medford, Oregon. It's a lovely little spot. They have live music here on Wednesday and Friday nights, so it's a really popular place, always guaranteed to have local artists. And recently they actually have someone from The Voice, and I mean, obviously I don't watch The Voice or anything on TV like that. The only contestants that ever get to be on those shows are inverts. Like, they don't, especially not real girls. You might see a real boy slip in once in a while, and they're probably going to be like a pedophile or other type of degenerate like that, right? It's not going to be a moral, upstanding, straight human being that is trying to purify you, right? You're not going to find that on television. Even when you watch TV pastors, right? So many people turn on the TV. I mean, I guess from where I grew up in the Christian circles, right? With my family all watching the TV pastors, and ultimately they are making a mockery of the real message of Christ that has been so diluted and twisted into something that it originally wasn't. It's basically, I call it Pollyanity rather than Christianity. Hey David, how's it going? Thank you. Naz says you saw wild turkeys earlier. Yes, I know it might sound odd, but I've honestly never thought about wild ones before. I think they live like up to 20 some years in the wild, and some not even months in the process of the food chain, right? They're like fattened up as quickly as possible to have the quickest turnover rate. So hormones and whatever ways that they can fatten them up, giving them like whatever food is going to fatten them up the biggest or produce the best product, right? As in, it's actually not the best product. It's like the worst thing, actually. But the best for them in their inverted world is the worst. But whatever's like the quickest, the most efficient on money, and yeah. If you're getting a burger for $1 from McDonald's, they're paying you to eat that, and it's the most terrible meat that you can eat, and it's really not even meat. It's it is meat, but I'm saying it's a very small percentage of real ingredients, if you will, and human DNA has been found in McDonald's burgers. So there's a video, actually, speaking of that. Woo! Of some, I think it's a Jewish rabbi, well, fake Jew, okay, those that say they are Jews but lie. They're of the synagogue of Satan. You'll notice this time and time again, that Satanists, the inverted deceivers, these satanic clowns, they'll infiltrate human groups and then corrupt them. Like, humans will start Freemasonry or other religions, and then over time the inverts infiltrate and then corrupt from within. That's what they do time and time again. They usually don't start their own groups, other than, starting the group of the inverted clowns. The clown show, what a great group to be a part of. Not They don't like to be laughed at. They like to laugh at us, and they want to make humans into clowns. And when you have humans that are confused about their sexuality, when they're confused about if they should drink their urine or not, when they fall for really see-through psyops out of ignorance, when they think that they live on a giant spinning ball or evolved from monkeys, they can laugh at us. They make us the butt of the joke. But when we start to awaken and take our power back, knowledge is power, that truth, the power that comes from that, and we start to see that's a dude in a dress on stage, right? We're seeing them for the actual clowns that they are, and these big hunks like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vin Diesel and these so-called manly men on stage are also inverted clowns as well. They don't have penises because they are females, so we're made into clowns until we realize that they're clowns. Then we start laughing at them, and then we get banned on Facebook for being too mean and calling them horses. But that's another story. That's really beautiful, Naz says, regarding the wild turkeys. And I'm happy to know that there are some wild ones on our flat earth. Me as well. It is really exciting to know that there's wild animals, but It's kind of interesting to see also how protected they are and loved in that setting that I was in earlier, like the deer that are right there, and the same people that are, not me obviously, but the same people that are sitting in the park enjoying those deer and saying, wow, look at how beautiful these are, like the same people that go home and eat deer or eat other animals that are literally the same thing. And the animals that humans eat are like a cow is so just gentle. Like obviously you can have some aggressive cows, especially when you're talking about bulls, and especially when you start messing with them and making them angry to where they start getting aggressive. But that is all of these animals that we attack, that we prey on, well, not all of them obviously, but the ones that humans eat the most are these gentle, loving creatures. And it's just interesting to see the difference between the people that are sitting there loving these wild turkey and deer and how they revere this life that's in the park, but then they go home and eat the same kinds of animals and have no respect for them. It's like they have this cognitive dissonance that they don't themselves want to acknowledge, obviously, because then they would have to change. But, there's a lot of people that won't go to the vegan side unless they are forced. And during the golden age, the supply chain is going to be cut off. There's not going to be an option to go to the store and get prepackaged animal flesh. Like the person that wants to go and eat the animal is going to have to go out themselves and do that. And obviously there can be laws to protect them, just like we have laws against, for instance, in America, like protecting bald eagles and other animals that are, so-called endangered or whatever they want to say. That can be extended to all of the other animals. Most people, especially in America, I mean, not in other countries where they eat dogs, but if you see a dog being abused, you have an issue with it, you can call and get the person in trouble. If you haven't noticed, cows are like giant dogs. They are just so playful and fun. You should look at some cow videos, like them playing with big balls in the yard and just getting to go out into the grass for the first time in the summer, and they're all like jumping and they're so excited. Like that really makes me happy. I look forward to rescuing especially a baby boy cow. They're usually in the animal industries. The boys are just killed off. They need like one sperm donor, and then they use that to impregnate artificially all of the females, who then keep going through this cycle of being raped and having to give birth to the child, and the child gets taken from them so that humans can consume their flesh. But ultimately I want to save a baby boy and his mommy from that, and have them as my friends. All right, let me check on the chat here. Michael says, we have free martins. I'm a transvestigator. That's why our priests wear dresses. Yeah, all of the highest ranks of all of these groups are inverted. So, yeah, it's hard to get away from it. And as truthers, we're really programmed to, blame Freemasonry specifically, or like one specific group, like the Jesuits, or you understand what I'm saying, when in reality it's the inverted. It's them against us, and they have infiltrated all of these other groups. Like I was saying earlier, they've corrupted them and they've demonized them. If they go around saying, I don't even want to say that because someone's probably going to take it out of context and use it against me. They might go around doing evil things and claiming to be Jews or Freemasons or Jesuits or whatever. And then people get this idea that the whole group is like that. You know what I'm saying? And essentially these groups at the higher ranks are all inverted, and they are controlling what is going on in the organizations. And I do think that there are some, good people, regular people. Maybe, as far as good goes, pretty much everybody at this point is corrupt. Okay, like we've all been corrupted by the system that we have grown up in. None of us is perfect, and I do think that there are people that get into these organizations, real humans that are pulled in when they're, told that there are good things going on in these organizations. They're shown, benefits and good things that are happening and say, come and join us, and they will use humans, that desire that we have. I believe it's an innate desire that is good. I think that humans, a baby is a loving thing and just perfect, and it's trained to be, corrupt through society. So the point being is that I think that there are humans, real humans, that get lured into these different various groups, and then pulled into the control of inverts. But I've mentioned before the Lost Continent of Mu, Motherland of Man, James Churchward's book. It's available for free online as a PDF, but it talks about Freemasonry in chapter 8. I think it's called Religion, and it talks about how the original humans were worshiping the creator, the grand architect of this realm that we live in, and they had all this esoteric knowledge. And obviously over time we can see how that has been demonized and inverted, and all these signs and symbols that we have been taught to associate with this group and other groups, whatnot, the colors and the numbers and all of this, we see all of these patterns in our world, and ultimately blame anybody but the inverts. That's what you want. Blame this group, blame this group. It's like, no, just blame the inverts, blame the satanic inverted puppets that are ultimately in charge, and then we're good. That's ultimately who it is. And ultimately you could just blame Satan. He's the one behind the curtain, and if you want to go down that line, ultimately he is just doing what he has contracted to our creator to do. Stepping back to try to see the bigger picture, Sophia is looking for wisdom, and there's only so much wisdom that can be gained in the Garden of Eden setting. So unless there's other factors that are put into the game, if you will, like what wisdom is she going to get? There's only so much that you can get, like I'm saying, in that. And going through these cycles of the Garden of Eden type beginning of humans to the falling away, the depravity, the being deceived. Like the first humans weren't deceived to think that they evolved. They weren't thinking that they lived on a giant spinning ball. These things had to happen over time. The corruption had to happen. The confusion, the push towards degeneracy had to happen over time. And we can see how much more it is being blasted at us. Just, in the I Love Lucy days, right? You turn on the TV, obviously they've always been inverted, right? The television has always been lying to us, television, and the inverted ones have always been Satan's control mechanism, right? His puppets, if you will, his little pawns in the game to control and influence and ultimately corrupt humans. But in the I Love Lucy days, it was like the husband and wife don't even sleep in the same bed, which looking back, it kind of like it could be seen as a corruption and kind of a segregation. Now that I think about it, trying to put a divide in between the husband and wife. But in comparison to now, when you turn on the TV, like you can literally see naked people in like sex scenes. I'm like, I don't want to see this. Like this ruins the whole movie for me, because first of all, I know it's inverts. Even if it was real humans, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see other people having sex. Like that's just really weird. And you can't unsee that. And it's just not. I'm a Virgo. I'm a pure fire. This is not my thing. But anyways, the point was the difference in the corruption between then and now, and how sleeping around and the LGBTQ PBR degeneracy stuff is being blasted at us from every direction. And they say that if you don't support your child going down that road, then you're in the wrong, right? They're trying to flip it on us to make us think differently than our actual instincts. Your instincts say, no, that is not okay. That is not a lifestyle that I would ever support for my child. I know that they're not going to be happy that way ultimately in the long run. And so I can't support it. But they're trying to turn us upside down and get us to support things that are evil for our own children. All right, we're gonna take a breath for a second and see what's going on in the live chat here. Thank you guys for all being here. For those of you who don't know, I'm at Dancing Vineyards, and I am having a glass of wine for my birthday. Robert says, sending blessings to all in these miraculous times. Thank you. Naz says that's another reason that they pick on you, because we have such a laugh on your groups at all of them. Yeah. And even in other groups, when they start picking on me, then we go in and start picking on them and pointing out the fact that they're all inverts, and that's why they're attacking me, and pointing out, well, all you really have to do is just post their picture and point out that they look like an ogre in a dress, and it's like everybody laughs at them, and it's like, we can see why that ogre in a dress is attacking the girl that's clearly prettier. Anyways. Robert says, happy birthday, sweet queen. Thank you. David had to go to work out and beat the hell out of a couple bullies that jumped me. Nothing wrong with a little muscle. Wow, I'm glad that you are okay. Happy birthday. Thank you, Ganged Up. I appreciate that. Michael corrected his earlier comment saying on the farm. What? I'm not really sure how. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Michael. Sorry about that. Is the fluoride blocking their rational thought process? Yes, Naz, that is very true. Harmon Walker says, I love your sincerity. Thank you. I definitely want to be myself with you guys and really allow you to really get to know me, because I'm literally trying to say that I want to lead the world into a better world. And if you don't know who I am at a core level, if you don't know that I am a real girl, then, there's going to be doubt. And I don't want that. We have to have a firm stance on where we are and who we are and what future that we want. I just posted today this cute little meme that someone was asking another person, what's your dream job? And the person responded with, why would I dream of labor? And I said that I dream of a world where humans can be free, where you don't have to work so hard to make ends meet. If you don't want to work, then don't work. Mother Earth provides all of these things that we need. She grows the food. It's not that someone should be charging you to have water, to have fruit and veg stuff that Mother Earth provides for free. So if we are all on the same page about the future and, the direction that we're headed, then that's when we can actually manifest that reality. This world is ultimately a blank slate, and when we come together and have a united vision, we can truly change it. The powers that be, ultimately the Satanists, have been working together as a united, front, ultimately towards the new world order that they are planning for us. And it's an inverted totalitarian nightmare where if you don't let somebody sodomize your child, then you're a bigot, and CPS might come and take your children from you and put that, they already do this, take children from parents, especially if I had a child, I would be really worried that they would take it from me because I'm anti-vax. I wouldn't want any doctors to have anything to do with my pregnancy. I want to be completely natural, no circumcision, no jabs, no birth certificate, none of being involved in their system at all, no formal education in the uneducational system. I'm not going to let my child go and get indoctrinated by somebody else. So a parent like that is a very high risk of having their child taken away because you don't go along with what the system tells you to do, especially if you sign that birth certificate and you sign your child over to the state, then they can use that against you. So obviously that's one reason why the world needs to be changed before I even want to consider being a mother, because I said before, if somebody tried to take my child from me, I don't even have the words to tell you, because I would light the world on fire and I would destroy anybody in my path. Anybody that tried to hurt my kid, I would tear them to pieces in this world and the next. Yeah. Physical revenge would not even cut it if you came after my child. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to be bad at you into the next world too, and I'm much more powerful in the next world, so you better watch out. All right. Now, I said cows have beautiful, sweet eyes. Yes, they do. Herman Walker says, my good friends in India treat their cows like we do dogs. Yes, they do, a lot of cow revering, honoring of the cow, and associating the cow and the giving with Mother Earth. But I think they also still a lot of times consume cheese and take from the cow, which I obviously don't agree with. Okay, sorry. Wow, this chat's going real fast. Thank you guys again for being here with me. I appreciate it. Steven says, happy birthday. Sorry I'm late to the party. Hey, Steven, it's better late than never. Thanks for joining. Lunar Node says that cows need more fun time. Yes, they do. It'd be cool to make some sort of like sanctuary with some sort of like, I don't know, I kind of see maybe like a car wash type thing, but where cows can go through it and, play in the water and just have fun and be clean and have a shelter to go and sleep in and be warm and have their babies be protected. I definitely want to do a lot of things in the future for the animals. I mean, obviously I do feel guilty for the evil in my past that I have done regarding eating animals, especially cows. I ate a lot of cheese. I thought I could never go vegan because I couldn't give up cheese. And cheeseburgers is like, so I want to definitely make up for that. But I also think that we have a responsibility to make not only a paradise for humans, but for animals. And I want to implement other things, like making sure that roads are like blocked off so that animals can't go run into the middle of the road and get hit, so that they have passages underneath or over top of the roads to protect them. So Naz says, and beautiful cow lashes, yes. Pretty much on Instagram, I follow only a few accounts, and I follow a lot of vegan sanctuaries that have, they post pictures of the cows. I love it. Harn Walker, are you 29 yet? I am 28. By the way, happy birthday. Thank you. I've always thought about birthdays should really be about the true Mother's Day. I know. I've always thought that too. It's like, why are you giving me a present when I didn't even do anything? Like, if anybody should get a present, it should be my mom, because she had to go through the pregnancy, and I was like 9 pounds, 10 ounces, and 21 inches or something. Like, I was a big baby. So I think my mom deserves a present more than me. But I do also understand, like, if I, when I have a child in the future, I'm going to want to celebrate too. So I kind of understand both aspects of it. Maybe we should change it to where, the parents give the kids present and the kid also gives the parents present. It's kind of maybe a family day rather than just a individual celebration. But anyways, can anybody share this live chat to any of the groups? Facebook won't let you share it. That's irritating. Hey Naz, are they marking my link here as spam? Amazon sells steroids, no joke. Naz says vegans are stronger and healthier physically and mentally. Yes, they are. Michael, if you're promoting eating innocence in my chat, that would be why you got muted. Don't do that, because that will make me really mad, and I want to have a good night. All right. There's also some studies, at least one about vegan men having higher testosterone levels than non-vegans. And if you think about it, that mammalian corpse that you're eating, that little girl that you're eating, has estrogen in that flesh and soul. So it's going to be feminizing you as you eat it. True strength comes from within, ultimately, and with the willpower, you can do anything. But I keep trying to tell people, the true strength, it comes from within, not from outside of you. Obviously, there are things that you can do in the physical to make you stronger, right? To help you be mentally stronger and add to your willpower, especially fasting, dry fasting. That's going to strengthen your mind, body, and soul. You're going to boost your immune system. You're really going to test your willpower and your ability to go without food. It's definitely, and water, to go without food and water is definitely a challenge, and it will definitely separate the, I'm going to say the men from the boys, but the women from the girls as well. All right. Deborah says cows so cute. Yes, they are. Herman Walker says, at Lunar Node, I asked them about, do they come inside their homes? He said, not that often. What are we talking about? Herman Walker, you're saying you ask somebody with cows if they come inside often? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about there. All right. Naz says a carnivore diet is the diet of clowns. Yes, and actually it's really not even a carnivore diet if you want to get down to it, because it's more like, what is it called? Things that go around and eat dead things. You're not even really a carnivore. You're eating things that are like lying around that were already dead, like roadkill. Yeah, it's going to corrupt your mind, body, and soul, and ultimately it's going to kill you faster. It's going to lead to diseases, and you're going to have to answer for all the innocent blood that is on your hands, especially when there are so many options to go vegan. There are no excuses to not be vegan. David says, I totally agree. That's bull crap. You can't tell a kid about who he or she should be. That's growing pains. I would definitely agree to a certain extent. But I do think that, leading a child in the right way, influencing them in the right direction is a parent's responsibility. And I think that you obviously would agree with that. As far as, some people would take that as you can't tell the child that they're straight, right? Or that they're a male or a female. You have to let the child decide. And obviously no one in my chat would agree with that. And if you would, then go away. You're really messed up. All right. KG Jr. says hello. Hi, how are you? I am at Dancing Vineyards and I am enjoying some live music. Well, sort of in the background. I'm more chatting my chatterbox away, but all right. Jesse says you are a beautiful person, Anna. Thank you. Naz says you need to purify. Yes. I just had somebody try to come on my page and say that we should be purifying in the dark. We shouldn't be telling people that we are fasting. The purpose of me telling people that I'm fasting isn't to say, oh, I'm better than everybody that I'm fasting, and you're not, right? It's to encourage you to do it as well. I want, to light everybody's candle on fire. Rather, it's not that I'm trying to outshine everybody. I want to light your candle as well and get you on the path to purification so that your soul can be the best version of itself that it wants to be. Your soul doesn't want to be a clown. Hopefully you don't want to be a clown. I guess there are some really broken souls out there, souls especially that have been, corrupted over time and inverted over time. Not all of these souls, they weren't always inverted, right? They were coming into this world, and if you play it straight, if you come in here as Yah's creation and you don't be inverted, what kind of world do we experience? We get deceived I guess a lot of them get deceived as well, and that's a different story, but we get, we're not aware of how the world is really functioning, so we're deceived in that manner. We're crushed down. We don't have these positions of fame and fortune. We're not given the money that they are, right? So over time, some souls have been lured to the dark side because of that, because Satan says, are you tired of going in there and being crushed down? Are you ready to try something else? Try a dress. To, the guys out there, right? Or to the girls, he'll say, try try chopping your tits off and being a boy. Like, then you can enjoy the finer things in life during Satan's world, and by that I mean the most corruption, the most degeneracy, and they get the money, the fame, the power, whatever in this world because they sell out to Satan. They are a man who puts on a dress. Like, John says, can't disagree. Yay. Heather says, happy birthday, Inanna. Thank you, Heather. Thanks for joining. Jesse says the UN is the head of the snake. I would say that Satan is the head of the snake, but the UN is definitely against us, obviously, and part of the web of control that Satan has over our world. Naz is having a vegan argument with Michael. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit farther up in the chat than you guys, but that's funny. Michael, the meat you're eating is pumped full of hormones. Yep. Trying to grow it as fast as possible, making it produce as much meat as possible, or whatever. Tim says a Virgo as well. Hey, yes. Virgo with Libra moon and Scorpio rising. I'm not really like an expert on astrology by any means, but the concept is that your sun sign, which mine is Virgo, represents like your true self, and then your moon is like your emotions and another aspect of you, and the rising sign is what the world sees you as. So often, because my rising is Scorpio, I am seen as a completely different person than I am. I mean, obviously I like to go to waterfalls and get naked, and I like to take sexy pictures and stuff like that, but I'm not a kind of girl that goes and sleeps around. Like, I have really high standards. Sex is sacred and it should be treated as such. I've never had sex outside of a committed relationship, and I don't ever plan to. Like, I think that sex is a connection, not just physical, but on an emotional and ultimately a soul level. It's binding together two souls, and it should be something that isn't taken lightly. Unfortunately, obviously, as you know, this world is completely corrupt and teaches us to sleep with as many people as we can get with, and sex is just for kicks and giggles or whatever, just for fun, and it is meaningless. And it's okay if you accidentally get pregnant, as if you didn't know that you could get pregnant from having sex. Don't worry, you can just go to any corner and have a doctor come and chop out your baby, or do some. I remember reading in, I think it was middle school. I don't remember what the book was called, but I came from a Christian background, and it was like a book that talked about, sexual topics, and it went through different abortion procedures. One of them was like saline injection, where they would inject a saline solution into the womb with the baby, and it would literally burn the baby. Like, from the baby would start like just horrible inside burning, and absolutely baby kicking and screaming the whole time. Sometimes the baby still comes out alive. Horror stories about, just the baby getting thrown into the corner and a towel getting tossed over its head until it basically dies. Like, I'm not trying to bring down the conversation and talk about such deep and terrible things, but yeah. Anyways, there is a thing to astrology. The specific time that you were born, there was an alignment going on in the heavens, in these celestial bodies. And if you go and read your natal astrology chart, you can actually see these different aspects of yourself that are lined out. And I personally really like that. I like how the first time I read the natal astrology chart, I was like, wow, this is spot on. Like, so much about myself I'm reading in this, and it is completely right how I am. So it's really cool. Obviously, getting into horoscopes, sometimes they are right, but there are a lot of deceivers out there, and they want to make us into clowns and try to influence us to act a certain way. Maybe you open the newspaper and your horoscope says, oh, watch out, something terrible is going to happen today. And then all day you're like looking over your shoulder and paranoid and worried that something terrible is going on. And that actually might itself manifest something terrible to happen. So it kind of like works against us. But there is, and also along with that, like a horoscope, as far as, predicting the future, nothing is guaranteed. There's a game that I used to play when I played video games with my ex-boyfriend. There's a Telltale Walking Dead game, and the storyline would progress, and then every now and then you would get to make a decision whether you like save this guy or save this child or something. Like, you have to choose what decision you make, and that decision will lead to a different path in the storyline, right? It's going to affect how the outcome of the game manifests, and that's the same in this world that we're in, right? Our decisions are ultimately going to direct our path, and nothing in the future is guaranteed, not even the golden age. We have to consciously keep making an effort, keep making daily decisions to get to that place that we want to be at. And ultimately, the number one thing that you can do to manifest the golden age is just go vegan. Your daily decisions are manifesting your reality. So if you are funding animals to be enslaved, to be used and abused, to be force vaccinated, to be forced medical procedures and any other thing, they're at the will of whoever is enslaving them, that is what you're manifesting for yourself and ultimately for our species. We have a whole species that is being farmed by a different species that is non-human. They are anti-human. That's not to say that all non-humans are anti-human. I'm saying the ones that are in charge are not human, and they're anti-human as far as, they're pro-human when it comes to eating human babies and, using us as entertainment and all that, but they're not promoting our best for humanity, promoting our best selves. Hey, Sonia, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Round Park says, happy birthday, Queen. Thank you. This chat is going really fast, so I am trying to catch up with you guys, but at least it's fun to talk about all these different subjects. Deborah says, my dream is to save all the cows. I live near lots of cows, bulls, and horses all along the road in the farm country. I support that dream, Deborah, and I also have the same dream. Around here, Mount Shasta is known as the meeting place of heaven and earth, and when you drive around the country, it's like farms and farms and farms of all of these cows being enslaved. It's like, especially at the meeting place of heaven and earth, we shouldn't have any slavery whatsoever. We shouldn't have any abuse of innocence, no matter what the species is. All of the innocents should be protected, especially at the meeting place of heaven and earth. Definitely something I am passionate about. Naz says, Michael, please don't be a meat-eating troll. It's Anana's birthday. Be respectful. Enjoy celebrating her birthday with her, and don't bring bad energy. Thank you. Woo! I love having mods because I had no idea what was going on in the chat down there, so thank you, Naz. I just don't think Facebook likes me. That's why they never let me share. It's not you, it's me. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, Naz. It's both of us, but anybody who starts speaking the truth and trying to promote unification of humans against the anti-humans, against the non-humans, and for the golden age is ultimately going to be shadow banned. They would find it the funniest if, every real human on Facebook is only interacting with inverts and nobody else is seeing their posts at all. Then they can get you to be discouraged and feel like, why am I even wasting my time? And ultimately get you to stop doing what you're doing, stop trying to move towards the golden age. And I'm here to tell you to don't. I almost knocked this wine bottle over. To not fall for their tactics. Sonia says, most beef sold in stores is old, used, and abused dairy cow. It's disgusting. Research. Absolutely, Sonia. And plus, they had to put different chemicals into the meat to try to preserve it, to make it that red color, because basically if it's not it just starts rotting as soon as it's literally a corpse. It starts to break down, and right along with that, your soul and your flesh are intertwined. So I've said this many times before, but for people that haven't heard it, if I were to take a piece of my skin and put it in a dish, a piece of my soul is with that. It's not like your soul can I'm saying, I'm trying to explain it. Sorry. Your soul being attached to that can technically be in multiple places at once, and you'll see that in the animals as well. They have souls. That they have a third eye, they have a pineal gland, they have a soul inside, and that soul is linked to the flesh. So it gets chopped up and put in different packages. So pieces of that soul are all along with that flesh, and the scientists that are looking into, using like chicken or whatever cells to try to grow factory grown from their cells, that soul is still connected to those cells. So it's not vegan. Why do people want some Frankenstein monster cell grown meat? Why can't you guys just eat plants? What is wrong with you? Like, honestly, why do you feel the need to put a corpse in your mouth when you could have something that's made out of plants that tastes equally delicious? That's something, for the golden age, replacing all of the things that we have now with vegan versions that literally taste the same, that don't cause animal suffering. Having McDonald's, or not McDonald's, I definitely do not mean McDonald's. McDonald's is being replaced by the Queen's Kitchen. What I meant to say, Burger King, Taco Bell, these fast food places with all of these different food choices that people love in a vegan version, so that it makes it really easy for people to be happier that they're being forced into veganism. I'm okay with people being forced into veganism. Is like, if I have to force you to not be a pedophile, I am okay with that. Are you really trying to say you're an evil queen because you want to force us to not do evil, because you say no to hurting the innocent? If that makes me evil in your book, you need to do some judgment of yourself, because you're the one that is evil and you are projecting that onto me. You're saying you're evil because you won't let me do evil? Anyways. Jesse says, very acidic. Yes, animal flesh. That acidic environment just creates an environment for disease, parasites, and ultimately demons to come and infest you, to make diseases, cancer, and ultimately kill you off. Herman says, yes, he was asking about the cows in the house. My Indian friend said not that often. He was an exchange student that lives with me here in the Nevada-Arizona border. Very cool. That's cool that you had an exchange student and actually got to learn, about their culture firsthand. That's really cool. I remember having exchange students in our school, and one of them happened to be Chinese, and I would always ask him, how do you say this in Chinese? And one time he's like, why you ask me? I'm not a dictionary. I was like, that is really funny. All right. It was like one of my really fond memory of that guy. Naz says that Deborah's dream is beautiful about rescuing cows, and he would love to have a huge animal sanctuary. Naz, are there any specific animals that you feel drawn to, or just any kind of animals in general? David said, what's the name of the place you're at? We should all call and have them dedicate songs to her. It's called Dancing Vineyards, but this is a local band. I don't know. They're taking suggestions for songs. I might not know them. All right. Naz says, John, that's called karma. Stop being a clown. Quite simple. I'll drink to that. Herman says, you know how we feel when we see how some countries eat dog. It makes us so sad. That is how he felt at the time here in how we eat cows. That makes sense. Definitely want to harbor that, adoration, not like praising animals, but being grateful that they are here and respecting them for the creation that they are, especially when they're so beautiful as cows. They're so sweet. Sensible Orange says, happy birthday from Australia. Thank you. Aren't you glad to know that you're not upside down on a giant spinning ball, like just hoping that gravity doesn't give out? Naz says, if you're going to be disrespectful on Anana's birthday, then you're clearly not here to help her celebrate. Don't be clowns. Thank you. Sonia says, I'm a Scorpio rising, Sagittarius sun, Pisces moon. Very cool. My ex-husband was Sagittarius sun. We're hunters. That's pretty much all I know about that. And as far as Pisces goes, I know that it's more like artistic and sociable type energies, but other than that, I'm really not sure. David says he's a Scorpio. Alrighty. KS, why would a vegan's hair thin and sweat at night? That's what's happening to me. That is a good question. I would have to do more research into that. Obviously, if you're just transitioning, there could be different things that are going on with the detox progress that you're going through, but there also could be nutrients that you are lacking. Obviously, if you've been studying, what they're doing, trying to take nutrients out of our food and make it as the least nutritious as possible, and obviously turn us into clowns. But I wouldn't be surprised to find out, they're just trying to do everything. Fluoride, GMO, spraying, just at every turn trying to destroy nature, everything that's natural, and kill us off slowly. Hearn Walker, Naz, as much as you do not want to, just 86 then. This is her birthday. Okay. Yeah, if they're going to cause problems, give them the boot. Sweatiness? Okay, maybe not Prince Andrew, but that's another story. Yes, Naz, that's funny. Major hair breakage. KS, do you use hair products on your hair either? I personally have stopped. I don't even really want to use vegan hair products because I don't trust that they're not putting chemicals in it. And if I think back to the Garden of Eden, our creator, other animals on this planet, whoa, whoa, slow down, pump the brakes. I can't believe that I just said that word. Ugh. I need to wash out my mouth. Okay. Other animals on this plane don't use hair products, and the powers that be want to poison us at any turn, like I was saying earlier. So things that we're told, sunblock, we're told that it's good for us when it is full of chemicals that hurt us. Teeth cleaning products that are actually harmful for us, that help promote cavities. Everything is an inversion of what it's supposed to be. So if you're using hair products, I would look into that as well. Night sweats, not sweaty throughout the day. I'm not really sure. Lots of women have thinning hair. It's not a vegan thing. Yeah. Chaos, I would have to do more research into it. I don't know. So, yeah. Queen and on a Snow, would you like to hear about an alternative explanation to so-called gravity that is fully aligned with the astrological understanding? It's a page long, but it's a lot of info. That sounds interesting. I would check it out. Obviously, I'm not sure that there, on our flat Earth, there's no need for gravity or any type of force like that. Obviously, we're more dense than the air. There's no logical explanation or reason to think that you would just float away without this magical force, because we were made to walk on the Earth. We were created intelligently. We weren't evolved. We are created with a purpose on this plane, the stage that is the world, that we're being watched by others. So it's kind of like the True Man and True Woman show, obviously. So there's not really any logical reason to think that we would that there's a force necessary or any type of thing necessary to keep us from floating away. But yes, please post if it's a link or whatever you have to that lunar node. And other people will check it out too. David says those decisions trees that you were mentioning is a world line. I read about that. I just was recently watching the Disney Plus, I think, a series called Loki. Loki, Loki. And it's pretty interesting. They're talking about these different timelines, and if you don't have anything else to do and you want to see what kind of interesting things people are being programmed with, it was a pretty interesting series. And yeah, I have no idea how to say that name. War Heights. Happy birthday, Queen Anna. Thank you. I appreciate that. One thing that I actually wish about YouTube is that people's names actually match their names. That would be a really beneficial. I'm not saying that yours isn't, but I'm saying just in general. A lot of people have nicknames and stuff on YouTube. It's like, just put your name, make it easy for everybody. John says, a good-looking girl, though, and has a brain. We are bio, Earth, it's bio. Or Earth is bio, yes. Thank you, John. Feel free to order another glass of bubbly. Let us stop you. I haven't finished this, and this is definitely not my first drink that I've had today. I brought these a little bottle of champagne that you get in two, and I had some mimosas earlier, and I had a drink at the point, so I gotta keep control. I'm not the kind of girl that goes out and gets drunk, actually. I hate being drunk, but it's not fun when the room is spinning. I like to be in control. I'm not gonna be the kind of girl that goes out and dances on the table or tries to hit on boys at the bar. Not my style. I actually worked at a place that had a bar. I was a bartender for a while as well, and it's just not something that I like to be around drunk people. I'm not against alcohol. Obviously, it's a tool that can be used for good or evil, and in the golden age, obviously, I want to be able to enjoy vegan mimosas and beer available for the people that like that, not spirits, because it really always just causes a problem and evil. But the tool can be used for good or evil. Getting grandma to open up at a wedding reception, she might have a little glass of champagne and start feeling like she wants to get out there and bust a move. John says MDs that sell bio food. What's in it? I'm not sure. Naz says you're extremely glowy on your birthday. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Good accent. You'll probably get another fan now, yes. Hopefully not. I have talked about jabs too, so medical misinformation. I'm bummed that they took down my Mount Shasta protest footage. I can't get that footage back, so kind of bummed. But anyways, Deborah says the deer run wild here. That's really cool. Do they come into your yard and graze? I actually have an orchard, and I've had over the years a lot of deer come, and I try to be their friend, but maybe I'm a little bit too aggressive for them yet. I hold on to hope for the future, but right now is a time for war, so I understand that sometimes I put off very aggressive vibes, and even in the golden age, I'm still going to have an aggressive side no matter what, because if you do something wrong, if my child is in danger, it's like I have to have that aggressive side. But, yeah, anyways. War Heights said they liquefy dead people and spray that already about our fruits and vegetables. Yeah, kind of like bone meal and other kind of stuff that I've never heard of that personally, but that doesn't surprise me at all because they already do promote growing in animal nonsense. So Nat said, I would take in all animals. Donkeys make me sad though. When I see how poorly treated and abused they often are. They're so sweet and cuddly. Not sure. A story just popped into my mind from the Gospel of the Holy Told, but I think it's actually a horse. Obviously, the donkey story about the Christ riding into town, but there's a story in the Gospel of the Holy 12 where the Christ goes up to a guy that's beating his horse and basically reprimands him for doing that and says, how would you like it if someone did that to you? And you should treat this animal with respect because it's your fellow creation of Yah, like God. That's my name for God. Anyways, Yahuwah. All right, and that says, oh wait, that's already has the same comments. John says, oh my God, what? What, John? Deborah says, so farmers trade in their guns for donkeys. Really? They used to fend off predators. Donkeys fend off predators? Fended off predators? That's really interesting. I seen one donkey while driving, and he was with the cows. Save donkeys. Woohoo! I really like to look at pictures of goats too, because especially like the sanctuaries that you can find on Instagram to follow, like the goats will always try to climb things and get to the highest part. It's really, really quite cute. Nat says kangaroos are cuddly too, but I don't see many in London. Have you ever actually cuddled with a kangaroo to know that they're cuddly? You have to go and who said that they were down from Australia? Sensible Orange from Australia. I had to go visit. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I like their accents, and obviously, Britain and France and all these other places. I really like accents. Someday I'll turn on my British accent, and that'll be fun. All right. Robert says, happy birthday. Be safe getting home. Good night. Thank you, Robert. It is 6:00 now. I think the live music might go until 8. I'm not sure. There's another place here in Medford called Johnny B's. I'm not sure if they're doing live music tonight or not, but I might head over there after I am done here. Lunar Note says, I'm a Sun Aquarius, Moon Pisces. Do you think we'd be good friends? I really actually don't know much about Aquarius, and honestly, I don't really judge friendships off of our signs. I do know that these things have a lot to do with our personalities and whatnot, but I'm also not thoroughly educated in the meanings of astrology. I kind of also feel a little bit blessed to not have, when I was growing up, I was really drawn to, I want to be a white witch and use the knowledge and the power for good to fight fire with fire, essentially. And my Christian background family kept me from that. But I'm kind of glad that I never really dove into astrology because of so much of how it has to do with globe, Earth, and ancient cultures, even some never eat Easter. It's like trying to look at the cardinal signals in my mind. Eastern cultures still only see Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter as wandering stars. They only use those planets, if you will, in their astrology. So I like to look at more ancient cultures, the fact that Uranus, like that alone, is a sodomite joke, okay? They call the planet Uranus. It wasn't discovered until telescopes were discovered. And so the ancient cultures, civilizations, they don't have that in their writing. Like, it can't be seen with the naked eye. They only took into account what you can see. But anyways, I'm glad that I never really was fully programmed into that. I think that there is deception in it, but also a lot of truth. So I personally wouldn't really judge a friendship or anything strictly off of that. Yeah. There's definitely more to it, especially if people are vegan and are truthers. I can compromise with other things in a lot of, be more forgiving, I should say. Be forgiving in many other areas as long as people are vegan and at least trying to be truthers and on the path to purification. But yeah. Naz says, I was drinking too much for years, really heavily, but have abstained for 3 years this October. Wow, that's really impressive. I feel so much better mentally. I'm not saying I'll never drink alcohol again, but I need to learn when to stop. I wasn't telling you to learn when to stop. Oh, okay. Well, now I feel like you were. At first, I didn't take it that way. That's funny. Just kidding. But that is good. 3 years. That's really impressive. Alcohol has never really been my go-to for fun. Anthony says, happy birthday. Thank you. Again, I am here at Dancing Vineyards, and live music is taking a break, but they will be back in just a little bit. I think they're playing until 8. And I've had a wonderful day. I posted a video earlier from Lithia Park, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. And I'm glad to be here with you. At least I tried. All right. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Happy birthday. Thank you. Naz says, you have a good British accent. You can do it more often. I don't consider a racist. Oh, that's funny. Unfortunately, some people associate it with not good things. Let's just put it at that. You know, they have the so-called drag monster of England with the British accent, and they're definitely giving the title queen a very bad reputation, and especially a queen with a British accent. Anyways. I'm not sure what's going on here behind me. It's a little drop off. All right. Lunar Node says, do you know that astrology denotes the location for North Lunar Node as well as Lilith? It's actually a flat Earth belief. Okay. Although it has been infiltrated and inverted to an extent, like all organizations. Yes. I don't really want to piss Lilith off, but anything in the sky that is aimed after Lilith, I'm like, that's corruption. All right, what's the original meaning of these things, and how can we get away from her? Anyways. J Star James says, LOL, I'm from London. Hello, greetings from wow, I almost wanted to say Ohio. That is where I was born and raised. I'm definitely not in Ohio. I am at Dancing Vineyards in Medford. And yeah, happy birthday, fellow Virgo. Yay, more Virgos. Not to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Racist would be your race, obviously, but sinist, if you will. Virgo power, I definitely support. The studies that I have seen from ancient cultures and the whole idea of like Saturnalia and basically a fertility festival being around Christmas time, December 25th. If everybody gets pregnant around that time, we can fill the world with Virgos, and a Virgo soul seeks to purify. Like, do you see the smile I'm getting on my face right now? I would like to plan my future children to be Virgos. We'll just leave it at that. especially King David. I want the king to be a Virgo. Okay. King as in King David, my future son, not that I'm looking for a man named David that's already a Virgo. Like, talk about my future baby. All right. Now it says, my friends have lots of funny stories of me drinking. Yeah, you keep sharing pictures of you from your past, and one of them said something that you were stumbling around Russia drunk or something like that. Too many. They often remind me of them. Cringe. Yeah, well, we're definitely encouraged to go through all of that, and drinking is promoted, and especially blackout drunk, and then making really stupid decisions. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying that's what they encourage us all to do. They want us all to go out and, you know, not just get trashed at the bar, but go and sleep around, make mistakes, so that you're in a position where you're like, oh no, I'm pregnant. And then, you know, who's the dad? Because I didn't even get his name because I was drunk at the bar and passed out. Like, really, really evil stuff that they promote. But anyways, Naz says hi to J-Star. Asks where in London J-Star is at. Deborah says there are a bunch of horses by the lake and train tracks. The owners let them run freely. Oh, that sounds pretty. Deborah, did you post Did you say you're on Facebook? You probably didn't post the pictures or videos, but I'm sure they're beautiful. It's really nice when, people do allow their animals to be free. Obviously, there's a difference between the factory farming and the CAFOs with the, cows packed in like sardines and on top of each other inside buildings, never seeing the light of day, and a local farmer who goes out and maybe even pets the animal, or maybe cares a little bit, about the well-being of the animal that they're not going to slice up and consume. But obviously, I do recognize that there is a difference in how people treat their slaves. Naz, your brother is a Virgo. Yeah, that's really cool. No, you're right. Many stupid things. I look at these stupid things as life lessons. Yeah. And it's really quite nice to be able to, tell future generations to not make the same mistakes as us, even though a lot of times they won't listen. If you're anything like me, I was definitely rebellious. And even from a really young age, my mom would say, you were always going out and we would reprimand you for going in the kitchen, and then 5 seconds later you are back in the kitchen, crawling in the cupboards, taking out all the pots and pans. And I have a picture in my mind of me as, I don't know, I must have been like 2 or 3 maybe. I was like biting a bottle to hold it in my mouth, and I was on the second shelf of a cupboard, like I had crawled up there. So yeah. Reminiscing. Just think, 28 years ago today, I was born, and the world became a better place. Anyways. Lunar Note says, did you watch the movie The Matrix? I have seen it a few times, but it doesn't really keep my interest. I know that there's a lot of, symbolism in it, but I should sit down. Maybe we could watch it together sometime. That'd be kind of fun. Do you remember they watched the screen with the falling rain graphics? Falling like rain. Do you want to know what this really is? Sure. I just flung my phone on the ground. All right. Now, I was talking to J-Star about the location. It would be kind of cool if you guys could meet up and actually be friends in real life. Friday Night Fun, I know I need to get the Battle of Bunny Flats recorded, so I plan on making a lot of changes, the next year, and really stepping up and becoming an even better version of myself. I'm constantly trying to change and be better. I want it to purify, and ultimately, I seek long life. I want to stay young a long time and be ultimately a positive influence on the world, and really try to encourage other people to be better themselves. Yeah. J-Star says, are you trying to kill me or something? That's funny. Yeah, Naz, I know. It would be nice to be able to do it live, but I'm gonna have to pre-record it, and to be able to use the screen and everything that I have, or I went through and typed up all the captions and had to listen to like hours and hours of footage to try to cut it down. And yeah, not very good excuses. So I'm going to be better. So anyways, hopefully Naz and J-Star don't have any vegan beef between them, and they can just be friends. How is it like to live in a country without, guns? I don't know. I really like vegan beef, yeah. I really like guns, and I think that everybody should have the opportunity to have guns, especially to protect themselves against the psychopathic anti-human human eaters that we have running our world. Normal, yeah, I guess that's what it would feel like, because that's what people are used to. But yeah, I couldn't, in this current state, I definitely couldn't move anywhere. Not that I want to move anywhere, but I couldn't move anywhere where I wouldn't be able to protect myself. During the Golden Age, I definitely plan on doing a lot of traveling, but obviously right now during the battle, Mount Shasta is where I need to be stationed because that is the meeting place of heaven and earth. I've said many times the root of the tree is ultimately going to affect how the condition of the tree throughout the trunk, the branches and the leaves, it's going to determine everything. So if we focus on one point, if we focus on purifying the root, it obviously helps to narrow our focus into one specific location, but having it at the root chakra is obviously the most powerful because changing the root will have an effect on the whole tree. So that is obviously why I am here, for those of you that didn't know. And the powers that be also know how powerful this spot is. So it's packed full of inverted nonsense. I came from the other side of the country, from Ohio, so I didn't know anything about the whole dirty kids and the traveling community, but it's really big on this side of the country, especially in California, going from, Mount Shasta. A lot of times people that live in buses or RVs or whatever, or even, that hitchhike around, that jump trains to travel from place to place. A lot of times they'll come to Mount Shasta, and you can pretty much stay in one spot for up to 2 weeks, and then you have to move so far away, and then you can stay there for 2 weeks, then move to another spot. So a lot of people do this, and obviously right now, since the mountain's closed, it's not just Mount Shasta area that's around Mount Shasta. But those of you who've been watching, you've seen footage from me at Castle Lake, which is another Forest Service controlled area around Mount Shasta, but people aren't allowed to go there either right now. So they've really pushed out a lot of the traveling homeless community by shutting down the mountain. What was I even saying? They're actually supposed to open the mountain tonight at midnight. So tomorrow I'll have to go. Well, I guess I'll probably post something, but tomorrow I'll go and make sure that the mountain is open. I'm supposed to have a full moon celebration on the 20th. So I need to confirm that the mountain is going to be open and then start cooking. I haven't done any of the cooking yet. So yeah, I'm not really expecting the biggest crowd for this full moon celebration because of the fact that so many people have been pushed out because of the fires. They shut down all of the area that the homeless can stay in, that the travelers can stay in. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hello. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
You definitely make that's
Thank you. Yay. That was exciting. It's my birthday. I should have told him. All right. Deborah says it's a V-Pass, can't go to bars, restaurants, etc. Moving to Mexico, not sure how yet. Wow. They're already doing that in your area, Deborah? Thankfully, they're not doing it here, but I was recently down in San Francisco, and they were starting to ask for passports. I'm sure that they're going to do it up here as well because there's a lot of liberal LGBT QPBR mask Nazi types here. So yeah, it's really sad. Actually, speaking of all of the jab, I saw a post, I think it might have been today, that was comparing two bags of blood, and one was the jabbed and one was the not jabbed, and the non-jabbed blood was this healthy looking red, a bright color, and the jabbed one was this dark, really unhealthy looking blood specimen, or whatever you want to call it, blood bag, whatever. But for years now, this came out in 2019. There was a paper that was released by some geneticists that actually said that COVID-19 was coronavirus deliberately mixed with HIV. So they took these two viruses, which are real. I know that there's a lot of misinformation about, viruses not being real or viruses being exosomes. Let me tell you, I personally know people that have made their own viruses and work with them extensively. So I've learned this information directly from people that have actually worked with viruses themselves. If you had gone into genetic engineering as a first-year student, you would have worked with viruses as standard practice. They have a virus that they can inject into cells and make them be like a fluorescent green. So it's definitely a thing, but the thing that they don't tell you is that they're all unnatural. All viruses are created in a lab by a genetic engineer. Okay, so without these genetic engineers making them in labs, they would not exist. During the golden age, we're not going to have these reoccurring releases of viruses every year when it gets cold, or this depopulation nonsense, because obviously during the golden age, pro-human entities are the ones that are running the joint, particularly me. But anyways, I was talking about the jab and how they deliberately mixed coronavirus with HIV. Their end goal is depopulation, right? And if they can create this virus that spreads like coronavirus and has the HIV spike protein in it, you're literally spreading this HIV spike protein like the flu. So it's really, really contagious, and it's really, really harmful. And obviously, shooting it up is the worst way that you can even get it into your system. Obviously, breathing it in, coming into contact with it naturally is going to be way less harmful than actually injecting it. And the point is that they keep going on about this spike protein and how getting this jab is turning people into spike protein creators. So it's like their body is actually creating these spike proteins, and it's actually like the worst part of the HIV. And imagine like a spike, like a dagger being spiked into your cells. Like, it's really, really bad. And they targeted this spike protein they created it to target your ACE2 receptors, and you have a lot of those in your lungs. So when it finds your ACE2 receptors, it daggers it with the spike protein, and it really messes people up. So, in the lungs, in the mouth, a lot of areas with your ACE2 proteins, there's also, I was just going to mention, like, different body parts that have different ACE2 receptor levels, and also different races having being created differently. We're all humans, but different races are created by God differently in different ways. We all have different personalities, different strengths and weaknesses. So ultimately, no human is made equally. And that's not to say that, it's not like a negative thing. Like, it's just something that we need to accept. There are people out there that are way better than me at math, but I am way better at creating a golden age, at leading humans into a golden age, because that's what my soul comes here to do. We've been through this before, and every time I come in here, this is what my soul goes towards. So it's like, you can always tell who Inanna is when she comes into this game, because her soul does the same thing every time. It's like, as soon as I wake up, it's like, I know that, even actually before I was awake, from a really young age, I always had this, like, growing up in the Christian mindset, this whole concept of Jesus died to save the world, to make it a better place. It's like, I always had this thought, like, if me dying could save the world, then I would, I want to do something and make a change. Obviously, I don't want to die, but I know now how to use my power to create the better world without having to die. That would actually be the opposite of creating a better world. That would be creating a worse world, because who else do you know that's talking about the golden age? And if they are talking about it, you better transvestigate them, because I almost guarantee you that they are not a real human playing it straight, and they are a disinformation agent. There are people talking about golden ages. There are ancient scriptures authors that talk about, 10,000 year golden ages, stuff like that. But logistically speaking, I talk about 1,000 year golden age. Once we're in this paradise type environment, we're going to see an explosion of population, and there's only so much earth that we can, be occupying. So at some point when humans are having more and more babies because they don't have to worry about making ends meet. They can just have baby after baby. They're not worried about it. And they're also living for longer than 100 years. They're living hundreds of years. It's going to get full really fast. And it can't be a golden age if we're all on top of each other, right? I guess my picture for a golden age would be more like, a family has a lot, like 10 acres or so, you know what I'm saying? Like an actual space where the family can be spread out, and you can have, generations on the same area if you want. But you can only pack so many humans in before we're all like they have in big cities, right? On top of each other with no land, with no space to actually function. And that's just not a golden age. So logistically speaking, there's only so long that the golden age can last. And also from a different perspective, just like there's only so much wisdom to be gained in the Garden of Eden, we're being watched by the Watchers, and a golden age to them is along the lines of a snooze fest. Like, think of the movies that you like to watch. It's usually there's some like turmoil, there might be like an apocalyptic event or some sort of like negative situation that's like progressing the storyline. It's not just that they're all sitting around in a perfect world, not having to go to work, lounging around, popping out babies. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can kind of see from their perspective how the Watchers themselves would get really tired of either a golden age or a Garden of Eden. And obviously there's some Watchers that would get tired of the corruption. Like, if I was watching this, it's like, I'm Virgo, obviously, and watching corruption would get really old really fast. So, yeah. All right. Sorry about the not paying attention to live chat. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. All right. Lunar Note says, do you know what the cosmic hiss is? It's the sound of the universe. Science will say it's a remnant of the Big Bang, but a 13.7 billion year old sound is not likely. It's the close sonoluminescent as stars. Interesting. I've never heard about the cosmic hiss, but I do know that I've, tried to learn more about free energy technology, and how you can kind of tap into a frequency to, the mother's heartbeat and kind of use this energy. So I know that, Mother Earth is alive, Mother Earth, if you will, because the Earth is literally Sophia. All physical matter is the mother, omnimatter ergo logos. All physical matter is alive, from the rocks to the trees to you and me. And Baphomet is an occult symbol for that. Sophia is animal and human, male and female. It's not that Sophia is an inverto. She is just all physical matter. So obviously she has to be the physical matter that comprises females and the physical matter that comprises males at the same time. And right along with that, she has to be those that are playing for the good side and those that are playing for the bad side, right? There's not a separation that says Sophie is only the good part of matter and something else is the bad part. No, her soul is what keeps this whole this whole show, if you will, this whole reality, this whole existence continuing. And if she decides one day that she is tired of all of the abuse, she's tired of being a clown, she's tired of the darkness, then she could say, we're done. She could say no more physical matter, and we could go back to what was before this, and that's essentially just ether. Obviously, in the spiritual realms, in the outside of matter, things are different. You can create with your imagination type, giant spinning ball worlds, if you will, because it's not actually physical matter. Not actually real when it comes down to it. Real reality, what happens here matters. What happens in matter matters. And it's not just on a physical level, but on a soul level, whether we are choosing to purify ourselves or corrupt ourselves. Our soul is on that path with us. And at the end of your days, if you did more good than evil, if you raise your vibration, then you're going to go up. And if you did evil your whole time and lowered your vibration, then the only option for you is to go down. So, all right. All right. Here we are. Naz asks Lunar Mode, do you believe in outer space? Yes, I do. J-Star, I do live in California, but I am right now in Medford, Oregon, which is about maybe 2 hours away, maybe a little bit less, at Dance and Vineyards, which is my favorite vineyard. And thank you all for being here with me. It's my birthday. Eric says, Inanna on stage, give you a guitar. Not really a jazz player myself, but these guys are rocking it. All right. Lunar Node says, well, if you mean infinite outer space, then no. If you mean, is there space between 100 miles and 14,000 miles, then yes, but humans can't go there. Okay. Yes, I probably take a guess in the dark that the majority of the people that are watching my channel are already flat earthers. Obviously, there are some people who have not woken up to flat earth truth, which is very surprising to me. I woke up in 2015, so for me, it's like this is really old news, and it's surprising that people haven't woken up yet, but I mean, my own family is still asleep, and fortunately, we have so many people that basically say, why does the shape of the earth matter? And the same people are like memorizing sports statistics, and it's like that's their Bible or something. Like that somehow matters more than the actual shape of the earth that we are living in. If you don't know where you are, what you are, and why you are here, then ultimately you're lost. I mean, if you can't answer those basic questions, then I definitely encourage you to do so. I've answered them before in previous videos, but in a nutshell, you are in an enclosed realm on a stationary plane. We live under a dome. We are being watched and judged. There are spiritual entities inside this world with us and outside, watching, trying to influence us, and yeah, so you chose to come into this world. You could have been one of the ones that are staying outside. And that kind of goes into the third question. So let's skip to what you are really quick, is that you're a soul. You're a soul in a physical vessel. You existed, before you chose to come into this physical world, and your soul will continue to exist after this physical world. There is exceptions, obviously. If a soul doesn't want it to continue existing, if souls get too dark, then they will cease existing. There have been I guess there are exceptions to that, but they should not be praised for being able to go to the depths of darkness and corruption and then still continue to exist. They should be pitied because they are able to go to those depths and still live with themselves. But anyways, yeah, your soul consents to being here. I was trying to remember what I was going to say before I told you about the exception. I was going to say, yeah, your soul will continue on after you exist, and ultimately you're going to look back on your life and judge yourself the harshest. Did you do what you came here to do in that world? Did you become what you came here to become? And if not, I mean, you're going to be your worst critic. So I always encourage people to figure out why they are here. And ultimately it boils down to two things. Did you come to make this world a better place, or did you come to make it a clown reality? If you came here to make it a better place, well, then we are on at the same team, and I'm glad that you're here. Okay. I had COVID myself. I tell you, it is real. Yeah, I agree that it is real. And obviously, like, your immunity, how your body's going to react to a virus is going to depend on how healthy you are. Everybody is not like it's not a black and white thing, right? It's not like you're either healthy or you're unhealthy. There's a sliding scale where people are everywhere in between in different levels of health. So they're going to react differently to different things. And ultimately, on top of just the state of your body, your willpower, right? You can have two souls that are going through the same type of torture, and one might have the will to continue on, to push through that abuse and to continue living, and the other might say, I'm good on that. Get me out of here as fast as possible. So it's not just, your natural immune system, but also your own willpower to keep on living. And that's pretty cool. If you're in some terrible situations, even like being burned to pretty much a crisp, if you want to keep on living, if it comes down to you being on the battlefield and fighting for your freedom in your life, and you can, get a lot of, it's getting a little bit violent, but you could get like a shot a lot of times and continue forward towards your attacker before you go on to the next realm, if you really have the willpower to do it. You can see that I'm smiling right now because I would try to take out as many on my way out as possible. Like, I'm not gonna go down without a fight. Naz is asking Lunar Node if they believe in the firmament. For those of you who, I assume everybody already knows this, but I shouldn't. The firmament being this dome that is on top of us. Me personally, it was channeled that the firmament is actually made out of pure gold, which is actually 100% transparent. The gold that we humans are, allowed to interact with is definitely not pure gold. And it's actually that pure gold is the hardest substance that matter can be made into. So you have this really, really strong dome structure, and it's see-through so that, the watchers and our creator can watch what is going on. So, Harmon says, I feel so helpless and useless. My whole family in Long Beach got 2 jabs when my 40-year-old daughter just received her 3rd jab. Wow. I'm really sorry to hear that. It's definitely hard to be in that situation. All you can do is plant seeds, and even people that have had, the jabs, I would encourage them to start to try to purify themselves, dry fasting, try to get the toxins out of your body and do whatever you can to combat what you've done. But obviously they have to, be at a place where they admit that there is something wrong, and that they want to make a change to fix what was wrong. But obviously some people, there's posts that say, if you experience these horrible sensations and horrible side effects, then it's working. It's like, wow, are humans really this dumb? Like, shouldn't get too mean, but were you born in a stupid tree and did you hit every branch on the way down? Wow. All right. But yeah, unfortunately humans are very easily programmed, and I do need to remember to be sympathetic, because I understand being programmed from a baby. You can literally convince a baby that, a fat Santa Claus drives around the whole world in a reindeer-pulled sleigh and gets really tiny chimneys, goes down chimneys and puts presents in everybody's house. You can really convince children of the dumbest things, and when you program them to blindly trust doctors, to blindly trust and submit to authority, it's really easy. And also, it's not just that. They also, at the same time, basically convince you that you are too dumb to make these decisions on your own. You're too dumb because you didn't go through medical school. You didn't learn what all these doctors learned. So you are not qualified to make your own decisions about your own health. And obviously they don't teach us about natural healing. So it's a whole plethora of issues that combined together put us in the state that we are in. on top of being fluoridated heavily and massively dumbed down. The educational system literally dumbs humans down. Like, you guys already know that though. So Deborah says my immune system is amazing. And Deborah, I agree. Yeah, for those that are, the healthiest or healthier when they get COVID, it's just like a runny nose and sneezing and, very minor illness. Whereas, the people that are really unhealthy, and it's not just that they're unhealthy, but then they also go to the hospital or they're going to experience medical malpractice. The doctors, nurses, even if they have a good heart, they all go through big pharma training to get to that position. They have to go through the uneducational system and be programmed by big pharma to do what they do. So that's prescribe pills, jab people, cut them open, blast them with radiation, everything unnatural, and definitely don't learn anything about dry fasting or grounding or anything natural that can help to make your immune system do its actual job, especially purifying your diet. Like, Lunar Note says, yes, in regards to, do you believe in a firmament? We need a container. Good home design always includes a roof. Yeah, I like that. J-Star says, at Harmon Walker, me too. My people been taking the vaccines without thinking. For those of you guys who are around people that have had the jabs, I've read some posts about people noticing differences between their behavior. Have you guys noticed the behavior differences in your friends that have been jabbed? Whether they're like feeling depressed more or angry or any of that kind of thing. I personally don't know anybody around here. Like, I'm not friends with anybody that has gotten the jab. People that I hang out with, even around Mount Shasta, it's like they're not doing it, and that's really exciting to me to find people like that, and to know that my own family, who's normally pro jab and doesn't really go against the medical status quo, is not taking this one. So it's really exciting. But I would like to hear what you guys have experienced and observed with that, and any adverse reactions as far as health goes as well. I know that I've heard reports from people that doctors aren't able to submit the vaccine injury report, in that theirs is, suppressing information, which is not surprising to me at all. During Spanish flu 100 years ago, the same exact stuff happened. History is literally repeating itself, but it was real to me that every 100 years, the 4 horsemen ride to depopulate the earth. So it's like a cycle that essentially that the earth is going through, and it's being propelled by the powers that be to create this, right? They're creating the virus, and then they're releasing it. They're creating the jabs and then putting them in. They're creating the famine, and they are trying to start all sorts of wars. They're trying to pit humans against each other so that we will kill each other off, so that we will, starve to death, so that we will get sick and die, anything like that, so that, they don't have to personally come in and go door to door and depopulate humanity, right? So yeah, if you look into, I posted a video before about Spanish flu, the truth about Spanish flu, and if you look into the history, you can actually see the famine going on at the time, the war going on at the time, and how the same kinds of stuff was done. The governments of the world lied about the numbers, in both directions, right? They lied to suppress the numbers, and to keep morale up, but then they also, give us outrageous numbers to make us more scared. So it's kind of like it's not kind of like, it's actually what they do. They play both sides of the Hegelian dialect, both sides of it, and that's in like every subject, right? We have celebrities that promote the jab and celebrities that stand out against the jab. And the point of having these inverts, these celebrities that wake us up, even in the flat earth community, the shill network that was put to wake us all up, it's to get us to not only be bound to that person. If somebody's waking you up, there's a binding that happens, a magical connection, if you will, that that happens, and it attaches you to that person at a core level. And obviously, if like they wake you up to more and more and more and more things, then if they wake you up to everything, then that's the most. But the point is that having celebrities waking people up, having these controlled opposition, inverted shills, is ultimately to get us under their control again. And I've said time and time again, you cannot trust an invert no matter how much truth they speak. If somebody is lying to you about what sex they are, something so fundamental, you cannot trust them no matter what they say. They will lie to you about literally anything if they will lie to you about what sex they are. You have to know who you are being influenced by and be aware that these inverts are put in place. They're not just on mainstream television. They're not just your famous celebrities. They're the truthers in the community. They are the most, watched YouTubers. They're the most subbed Instagrammers, Facebookers. Like, it's all across the board that they are the ones that are dominating all of these social platforms, because ultimately Satan is the one that's controlling them. So it's really easy for him to promote his own minions, his own puppets, and make them popular, and even, fudging the numbers, fake subscribers and fake views and all of this stuff, and influencing the humans. Oh, well, if millions of people are watching this video, it must be the cool thing. Let me get in on that, right? And all we see time and time again is degenerate crap, inverted degenerate nonsense. Really gets me fired up, because like I was saying, as a Virgo, it's like my soul seeks to purify, and I want to have a baby someday, and I wouldn't want him to be in a world where, pornography is promoted, especially inverted porn. The most viewed pornography on the internet is literally male on male action. If you haven't seen my Transvestigation 101 video yet, porn stars are male, please do. I show you my real female flaring hips next to theirs, and hips are the go-to, especially if you're looking to see if it's a real girl, you look at the hips. So the MTFs, male to females, my go-to biomarker is the hips, because they always have these smooth, fat-padded hips and not... See this? Hip bone? Like in the middle of this really fancy video, just showing you my hips. But anyways, I'm really happy about my female flaring hips. And so for the MTFs, look for their hips, because they're a giveaway. I'm good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. They're doing last call. 6. Oh, I wonder if they close at 8 though. I think they went till 8 the last time, so that's interesting. All right. Oh, what I was going to say, for the FTMs, if you're looking to see if it's a real male, I always go for the tits, because they'll have they have breast reduction surgery, scars. Sometimes they got these nipples that are like, one's in their armpit. Like, it's just I'm laughing, but I kind of do feel bad for them. But anyways, I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like you're trying to deceive the world, so I really don't feel bad for you at the same time. So anyways, all right. Eric says, #real woman. Yeah. Ganged Up says, the beauty of color is they are different and unique for a reason. Yep. Naz says, people around me are always ill, not me. Vegan is the way. Absolutely. And when they get ill, their methods of getting healthy are definitely different than ours. And I'm really thankful to know that, just dry fasting can cure whatever, All right. All right. All right. Harmon is the only one in his group of golfing buddies that is not vaxxed. Wow. Do your golfing buddies have any issues with you, not being vaxxed? Or they, obviously if you're still buddies, then not that much, but it's really, really sad how they can turn us against each other. But at the same time, I understand not wanting to be around people that were just recently jabbed, because shedding is a thing, and I do not want what they just put into their bodies. Ganked Up says sacrifice is to make sacred for a reason. Okay. Not sure what you mean. Naz says, I just got a notification that you updated Instagram. Either you were really quick or my notifications are extremely slow. I haven't touched my phone. Well, I guess I didn't touch it, but I haven't been on my phone, so that's kind of funny that they're just now showing you that. Ganked Up says again, happy birthday. Gotta get back to work. Thanks for joining, and I appreciate the happy birthday wishes. Naz says 100% Eric, real woman, real female indeed. J-Star, speaking of that, I keep getting a bunch of Instagram ads, and they're constantly inverts. It's like, you guys are really tempting me, because I feel obligated to laugh at everyone and say man, and point out, male smooth padded hips, hashtag hips don't lie, saying high-waisted pants are so ugly, hashtag hips don't lie, hashtag if you got them, flaunt them, just really, I'm trolling all of these Facebook ads, so that's fun. J-Star says your eyes are so beautiful, and Naz says that he hopes that he's not talking to him. That's funny. Thank you, J-Star. I appreciate that. Zara says, are you going to get a cake for your birthday? I probably will not get a cake. The only place that I know that does vegan desserts is actually this place called Melange, and I think that they closed around 2, but they have some really delicious things. It's a fully vegan restaurant, and they have raw vegan burgers and raw vegan tacos that are really awesome. The tacos are a little bit spicy, so they are good if you like spicy stuff. Me personally, I stick with the live burger that they have. Is really good, and they're not mask Nazis in there. One time I went in when they had all the mask mandates, and the lady that served me was saying that the chef liked that I wasn't wearing a mask, so he put extra love into my meal. So that was kind of cool. But that being said, this morning the first thing that I ate was a dragonberry bowl, which is one of my favorite treats. So instead of a cake, I've pretty much been eating everything else that I love to eat. I went to the Point Pub and Grill, and I had a vegan burger, of course, and some vegan nachos and cheese, which was delicious. And yeah, I eat a lot, so I'm pretty stuffed. Naz says, I love red pandas too. Red panda. I've never even heard of a red panda before. That's kind of cute. All right. I was 2016 with Flat Earth. Very cool, Naz. What woke you up? For me personally, I was at a place in my life where I'm like, I need to question and believe things because I believe it and not because I was told. And I found Mark Sargent's Under the Dome full documentary, and at the time I didn't even know it was Mark Sargent, but as soon as I saw that, it was like something clicked. I'm like, that makes so much more sense. Plus, I was a big Bible thumper at the time, so thank you so much. I was a big Bible thumper at the time, so it's not too bad. I was a big Bible thumper at the time, so the fact that the Bible, was a flat Earth book, there was no cognitive dissonance for me at all. So, anyways. That was actually the same time, like I've said a few times before, I woke up to pretty much everything because just one thing led to another. And at the same time, I was telling my boyfriend at the time that all the, sports stars on television were inverted, and that he's never seen a real girl on TV and all of this stuff. So, yeah. Deborah says, we are in a realm that is infinite, no edge. I personally do not believe that, Deborah. I believe that we are in a contained, a container that is not infinite, personally. But, yeah, I mean, if it was infinite, then, the golden age could go on for a really long time because there would be enough room for everybody to spread out. But the fact that there is limited room here is what makes 10,000-year golden age not even achievable, really. Hey, Billy Mac, how's it going? Clove heads laugh at that, but believe in an infinite outer space, right? Brainwashed fluoridated zombies. Yes, no, that is true. Billy Mac says it's easy to obey. Yep. Matt says his mom can't wait to get her booster jab. That's a bummer. She's had her 2 original jabs and still hasn't been out apart from the doctor's appointment. Oh my gosh, a year and a half stuck inside. She's brainwashed. I mean, I personally do spend a lot of time at my home, but not ever going out besides for like doctor's appointments and living in fear. It's like, what a sad life for people. Deborah says, news headline said under the dome. They are desperate to get us all jab. Decline. The news headline said under the dome? Herman Walker says, I am the only one in my group and I do not notice any differences in how my friends act. Okay, well, that's good. They let me know they feel so much safer after the jab. Wow. But not one of them care that I'm not. Okay, well, that's good that it hasn't caused that rift between you. I also wonder how many people have, gotten sick after it that, like I was saying earlier, if it's making your head ache and it's making you black out, then yeah, it's working, guys. Good job. Hey, G at 12, looking good. Thank you. Naz says, you have definitely woken me up a lot. You also proved time and time again that you're 100% female. As you pointed out before, no one else I've seen has proved their veracity. Thank you. I have noticed that as well, and honestly, I have a hard time trusting anybody that I can't fully investigate, even, truth or friends. So it's really exciting, when you investigate them and they are real humans, and I'm really, really thankful for that. So thank you to all my real human friends out there. And yeah, Deborah says that there have been no long-term studies done. Should be a warning sign. Yes. Especially if
thank everybody,
especially on fertility. Sorry, kind of got distracted there. Probably gonna have to wrap up here soon. I think they just said that they were getting ready to close. Last song of the night. All right, that makes sense why they did last call. All right. Thank you all again for joining me on my birthday. This has been really fun. If you type #hips on Instagram, they blocked it off. That's funny. I wonder if they haven't blocked off hips don't lie as far as I know, but I always tag that. #hips don't lie. Sonia says, oh my gosh, I just thought of something. What about the sister wives? Oh my gosh, please look at them. They are inverted clowns. They are real obvious inverts. The only thing, I love the fact that the family is so big, but now knowing that they're inverts and how, obviously, if you're inverting your children, you're not a good mommy. You're not a good daddy. So these inverts want to go and pretend that they are better parents than real humans. Well, you're not, because you're literally damning your child's soul. You are crossing their wires. You are confusing and corrupting them at a soul level. So no invert is a better mommy than a human that doesn't invert their child just by that alone. They can try to be perfect in every other way as a little MTF mommy, but no, they're not. They're not gonna work. Sister Wives season 16 this year, inverted polygamy family, yeah. And a lot of times, these families that we see, not necessarily a lot of times, but there are relationships that we see in the media that They're not actually related. They're just a family that's assembled together. They're just, an FTM and an MTF that's paired together for the show, not because they actually love each other, especially like the celebrities with all the flings that they have. They want us to think that these celebrities, the hottest celebrities, get together and they have the best things in life and all this stuff. They have the highest suicide rate. So you're really not going to deceive me into thinking that you are the happiest when you have the highest suicide rate and you're literally a man who goes around in a dress. Hashtag clown status. Is that necklace 925 silver? No, this is gold. My necklace is gold, baby. G at 12. I really enjoy watching you. Oh, thank you. You're so pretty inside and out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look up red pandas. They're gorgeous. And as I did. I looked up them as soon as you said what they are because I'd never seen one before. They look like a little fox. Like I was expecting an actual panda bear that was red, but obviously that's not what I saw. Unless I only looked at the first page, but they kind of look more like a fox type creature. I heard flat earth mentioned somewhere. I got angry and thought, how could people be so ridiculous? I then took a look at some YouTube videos. The flat earthers were very rational and I listened and it made sense. That must have been earlier on where you could actually type in flat earth and get a flat earth video rather than 97 debunking videos. The earth has to be a giant spinning ball because of time zones. Like, I don't know if you've seen that 10 ways to prove that the earth is a giant spinning ball. It's like, not one of these actually proves that the earth is a giant spinning ball. They're all based on your flipping ignorance of how things work around here. Anyways. Alright, guys. I'm probably going to have to cut it short here, but I'll read the rest of these. Harmon Walker. In the last 2 months in Southern California area, I have 5 friends that have died after the second shot. I wonder if they have actually been listed as deaths, or if they say correlation does not equal causation, or whatever the heck they say. Wow. 5 friends from 2 shot. Crazy. I've seen some people, whether they're people or inverts, saying, I wouldn't mind taking boosters for the rest of my life. Like, wow. For the rest of your life. Wow. It's so silly. All right. Nat says, thank you for allowing us to share and celebrate your special day with you. And Anna bless you. Thank you for, what time is it there? This is really early in the morning or late at night, whatever you want to say. But thank you guys for all joining me and hanging out. I really appreciate it. I've had a blast, and I will be going live on Sunday at noon Mount Shasta time for a little bit at least. I do, I have the full moon celebration coming up on the 20th, so I will have to be doing a lot of particularly baking on Saturday. The day before the full moon event, I always make a bunch of homemade bread rolls for the vegan burgers that I make, so I will be baking and doing other cooking, so I'm not sure how long I'll be able to hang out, but I do plan on touching base with you on Sunday. I'm not sure that I will be able to do a dry fast on Monday this week because I'll be up on the mountain on Monday, and it's just a lot of work, and it's going to be hard to be up there all day and be interacting with people and doing what I need to do while dry fasting. So I probably won't be able to dry fast this weekend if the mountain is open, and I will let you know what is going on. What is this? Hey, whoever you are, Hannah, yay, hey. That's not necessary with all these eggplants and water splashes and stuff. Thank you for the comment, but all right. Who's playing behind you? Where's live music? Me and a friend wants to go out tonight. Maybe come up and meet with you. Actually, they're ending right now. So the vineyard, Dancing Vineyards is actually getting ready to close. So, yes. Sunny said, love you, girl. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you for joining and chatting. I appreciate that. Good night, everyone. Much love. Now it's 3:00. Get some sleep. Does Mount Shasta really have no snow? Actually, recently it did snow, so the top of Mount Shasta is snowing already. But Mount Shasta has none of snow. Yeah. But this year was like a record low for snow